And I know you look at me and think, well, Nepo baby, that's why she's there, and I totally get it. But the truth of the matter is I'm 64 years old, and this is just amazing.
Some people spend years just to get their first opportunity, while others grow up already standing inside doors that were opened for them. But when that advantage is called out directly, how Nepo babies respond becomes the most interesting part.
I've had so many guests on this stage or elsewhere whose parents, if anything, the common conversation topic that when this comes up is they almost felt like they had to overcompensate and like work harder because there was a sense from some people that you're skating by. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna outwork you just to show you that.
I say this not as a criticism to anyone who has said that, but I think the idea that you have to work harder is crazy.
Well, you shouldn't, absolutely.
Not that you shouldn't, I mean that it is easier. Like, you don't have to work harder.
Right.
I think I have so many wonderful friends from drama school and from New York theater and didn't have the luxury to come from where I come from, and it is harder.
Yeah.
You have to work hard to earn people's respect and make sure that you show up on time and do a great job and are prepared every day, but everyone should do that anyway.
Ben Stiller speaks very openly about the privilege of his background, especially when his first opportunities came through connections not everyone has access to.
I think growing up around it, we talked about all these things that I saw with my parents. You actually, as a kid, see the dark underside of it, the stress, the effects it has on relationships. You see that up close as a kid, and then you still want to go into it. I got my first job, House of Blue Leaves, this play off-Broadway. I asked my mother to call. I'd been auditioning for part was something that I felt I could do, and I couldn't get in because the casting director didn't want to see me.
Wow.
But then I went in on the final callbacks as a favor, and then ended up getting it. But I felt like doing that audition, I knew that I had done what I needed to do to get the part. If you have the passion, you do it. You go for it.
Jack Quaid also doesn't deny that his path started with doors opening earlier than most, but what he says next reveals the real difference between being given a chance and earning your place.
Childhood you must have had.
It's a weird way to grow up. I mean, like all things considered, though, they were like great parents. Look, people have called me a Nepo baby. Like, I'm totally inclined to agree. I'm definitely a Nepo baby. Like, I know that the way I grew up was just different than most people's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my last name is, you know what I mean?
You can't run away from it. Yeah.
I can't run away from that at all. No, I can't be like, came to Hollywood with some gumption and a lunch pail full of dreams. I know the deal. But, I know the door was open for me in a lot of ways. And I feel like all I've ever wanted to do was work as hard as I possibly can to prove that I deserve to walk through those days. I love making art, and one of many privileges about my life early on was I got to grow up in a family that valued art and was just a family of artists.
For Allison Williams, the story isn't about whether she had a platform or not, but about how she directly names what everyone else already
So there's been a lot of talk about Nepo babies recently. So kids of successful people who also find success. Interesting take on this, and I love your take on this. Can you tell everybody?
I'm forever grateful for everything that my dad had to do to get me the opportunities that if I were to run away from that or shy away from it in any way, in my eyes, disrespectful to everything he had to go through. He didn't work as hard as he did for me to not accept and appreciate it. And so I wear it as a badge of honor. A lot of people, when they see me naturally, hey, you're Ice Cube's son. You damn right I am. 100%. That's my hero.
That's so cool.
That's my coach. And at the same time,
Advantage can get you into the room, but sometimes it also raises the expectations placed on you even higher.
I would love to hear your perspective on that.
I think it's fair, right? Because child of somebody, you get access that other people don't have, right? So playing field is not level in that way. However, I really do feel that once your foot is in the door, which you unfairly got in, then you have to work almost twice as hard and be twice as good, because people are ready to pull you down and say you don't belong there, you're only there because of your dad or your mom or whatever the case may be. And it shouldn't limit you, because what I definitely believe is that nobody in the world, especially anybody that doesn't know you, should have negative impact on your path or the decisions.
You know, I'm not gonna just like pretend that there's nothing there. You know, we've each all had our own different journeys with it in different ways. And I think maybe if I could say that anything maybe played into it.
The chaos escalated even further when Aubrey Plaza and her co-star started fooling around by perfectly imitating the movements of two cats.
I want to address what people have been saying about me. First of all, I was never trying to hide who my parents are. I fully acknowledge that my upbringing was largely responsible for my 30 years. So yes, in many respects, I started on third base. You know, that's the thing about nepotism though, Seth. It's just about name recognition. There's a lot of other more subtle privileges that come with it. Now, is that fair to the other kids? No, but it happened. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't influence how I got where I am today.
I think you just want your name associated with the Nepo baby conversation, so you seem more important.
Well, that's kind, Seth. You're really being kind, but I'm fully willing to accept, you know, all responsibility for my privilege.
It's true in every industry, and it's like a much bigger conversation, I think. I think they kind of missed the mark a little bit on the article, because they could have said something really cool about, you know, funding for like great education and arts, which is something that we're lacking, and sort of like closing the gap between the industry and, you know, any community. But instead they dress people up as babies, which I thought was...
Charlotte Lawrence doesn't try to turn it into an excuse. She simply explains how it feels when every achievement is constantly measured against her family name.
I was born into a family where I had the opportunities and grace to pursue what I wanted to pursue, and they helped open the door in 1.5 million ways. Again, like, my talent and hard work, I think, showed when I had to be the one to step through the door, you know, in a way and a half. But I think when people try to deny their opportunities and their like blessings, like, that's when it's just fucked up. Be real. And at the end of the day, like, I mean, I guess I can say this because I am a Nepo baby, but at the end of the day, the people that stand the test of time and like really make it last, like a Kate Hudson is a good example of this. Like, the people that have surpassed the kind of nepotism thing, or Gracie Abrams even, like, are the people that are truly deeply talented. Totally. And you can tell it's like their purpose. So it's like, who cares where you come from? If you're hardworking and you're gracious and you're grateful, like...
I kind of like how you also poke fun of this whole Nepo baby thing.
Yes,
Nepo,
yeah.
however you say it.
Nepo baby.
Nepo baby?
Yeah.
What do you think of that whole sitch?
You know, when that first started, I found it to be like incredibly annoying and boring. Like, if you're a journalist, write about something else.
Yeah.
That's just like lame.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to make fun of it, I jumped at.
Of course you did. Well, you were amazing on SNL, and this show, Madam Web, is awesome too. I'm so happy you're here. You're also just a nice person.
I like being
always
here.
fun.
I'll stay all day.
Okay.
Emily Aylan Lind grew up in a family already familiar with Hollywood, and because of that, she understands that the Nepo baby label is not as simple as outsiders think.
Nepotism a lot recently, right? And I think I got this question, like, what's it feel like to be a nepotism baby? And I was like, oh, it's so great. Because I don't know what I would have done. And I don't know, like, if nepotism, I think nepotism is weird, and it kind of has a weird connotation, because there's like, I don't know exactly what it means, because I think a lot of people think it's like, I guess you could answer this question, but does it mean like you just have like a famous like family member and then they like help you open doors, basically? Is that kind of what nepotism? Yeah.
So my question to you is, like, is nepotism like the leveraging of the assets?
Or the support? I don't know. I just think it falls in the same category of understanding that you have support in a way that others wouldn't to get into this industry.
Or access.
Access in my case would be the fact that my mother went through getting an agent for the first time.
I didn't think that I could actually do it. And
Did
then
your dad's success not inspire you at all?
Well, he had like,
it's weird success, right?
This is the thing. Like, there's also a huge thing right now. Well, not even right now. For like the past 2 years, where everyone thinks that I'm a Nepo.
You're not.
And I was like, someone should call my dad and tell him that he has any pull and sway or money somewhere. Like, someone should call him, okay? Because if they like came and looked at like the way that I was raised, and I was raised with my mom, which is a very different situation than my dad is. My dad, has an old...
Eva Amori's story doesn't start with an audition, but with people already knowing who she was before she could establish her own identity.
It is incorrect as a child of a successful person in any industry, but in the acting world, let's say, to say that having parents who are successful in that industry does not help you in some way. It's incorrect to say that. That's not real. Even if it is as small as just having access to that world, having a leg up, having an understanding of it. And then of course, you're around the industry, you have a greater access. That really doesn't, in my experience, exist, so I think, I've heard different people say it as, it definitely opens so many doors, but to stay in the game, to stay in the room, you have to bring it.
That's on you.
And that is on you, I think, at the end of the day.
Getting breaks, I would say not exactly. I am an Nepo baby, it's true, but there are advantages naman, and I would say there are disadvantages, just like anything. Yeah, I won't deny that it definitely helps, I guess, in recall. Like, people remember me because they see my dad in my face, or they remember me as a kid. So, yun lang naman. I think in anything, there are advantages and disadvantages. And yun, isa na yun sa mga, I would say, slight disadvantages. Parang, syempre, I want to be known for what I can bring to the table.
Chris Wallace has carried the Nepo Baby label for a long time, but his perspective adds a completely different angle to the discussion.
It's family involved, but in more cases, it's network. It's like I dated a girl who was an actress when I first came here, and she always was networking. She's like, I have to go to this party. I have to meet these people. I have to know these casting people. I have to know these. And I'm like, oh. And she would go around them and be so fake. Oh my God, I love your dress. Like that kind of shit. And you're like, yeah. Oh. It's nice. It's complimentary for no reason. There's something gross about when you know someone that I know this girl. This is not how she is.
Right.
She's kissing everybody's ass just to appear nicer. Like maybe they'll think about her when a role comes up. And so that forms their opinions on things too, because that forms their political opinions. Because they find out what the political opinions of the casting people and the executives, which is always left leaning.
Yeah.
Unless you're on Yellowstone, you better be wearing a fucking pride flag or something. Like you have to be 100% progressive, liberal leaning.
Yeah.
And so these people alter their opinions of the world based on what is going to get them closer to the honeypot.
And after everyone who tries to explain, defend, or accept the label, Sky Townsend brings it back to something very real. Being a Nepo baby can be a boost, but also a shadow you have to step out of on your own.
It's interesting because I started auditioning, I think I was 17. And what I started to quickly realize, because you hear the Nepo baby thing and you're gonna get the part just because you're so-and-so's kid. I wouldn't say it was working against me because long-term it made me way better, but it didn't work in my benefit. I must be honest. I feel like a lot of people were trying to test me or put different hurdles in the way to be like, well, if your dad's da-da-da, wouldn't you know what that is? Or if I had a question, I'd be very vulnerable, I don't know what that is. Wow, the Townsend's daughter doesn't know what that is. And it's it was a really condescending, bizarre energy because I was it was just, like I said, yeah, I met a lot of his friends, but I realized very quickly the respect for who he is was not going to allow them to give me a shortcut. They were like, it doesn't matter, tell your dad I say hello, and that'd be the end of it, and I wouldn't get a call back. so it made me really hungry because I knew I had to be good enough to get the part.